It's episode 400, and that means it's time to celebrate with some fan-submitted mocks. And actually, all of these are going to be Hero Factory themed today. That's very exciting, isn't it? So let's check out the creations of the community and give you some inspiration. Up first, we have Serge XL, and this is built by Ostfem Ston. My boy Serge gets the love that he deserves. Finally, he's an XL character. So all of the official XL sets that we got, I always thought they were great. The idea of a super-sized hero with a ton of new weapons, armor, and features, it's the best. And it's even better when they look as good as this mock does. I do enjoy how in this image he has no hands, just blasters. There is something about that that's very heavy duty and hardcore. It does appear, however, that you can swap them out for hands, and then now he can hold a giant sword. And this is super over the top, like the cross guard, the high amounts of detail. There's a lot of embellishment. It just gives it a more grand presence. I like that it's over the top. Beautiful. And even the waistcoat design on the torso, that looks brilliant. But of course, you've been waiting for it. This design only gets better because it transforms. Now Serge becomes some sort of heavy armored tank. Look at this big beefed up design. There is something so exhilarating about seeing a big toy like this. It takes you right back to being a kid, doesn't it? So one touch that I really appreciate are these trans medium blue Borok eyes. You can see them up the front. This is a pretty easy way to establish where the head of the vehicle is, or I don't know, at least the cockpit. I find that adding some kind of analog for where the face of the vehicle is, or just establishing where it's piloted, I think that's a great way to make a vehicle read a little bit better. You're not sitting there questioning, is this piloted from the front or the back, or is the cockpit kind of sitting in the middle? Things just feel more clear, and I think that's nice. Back to the robot mode, and actually let's head to the back. We can see some of these treads have been tucked away here, but they can actually pop out like a flower. Yeah, the shape of this, it kind of reminds me of Iron Man's armor in Avengers Endgame. Yeah, they become these kind of energy conduits, and when Thor strikes him, he uses it to charge up his weapons. I guess that's what's going on here, and it's a good way to decorate the back. Perhaps you could do something similar on your own creations. Man, how good is the idea of heroes that can transform? Honestly, it slots into the world of Hero Factory very well. This is the best. Quickly though, I do want to say I'm not 100% sure if this creation is built by Ostfem Ston. This creation was submitted by someone else, and they simply just linked me to a Pinterest board that had this in it, but it's unclear whether or not that person is resharing these images, or if Ostfem Ston was the person that uploaded them to Pinterest. Of course, I did a bit of research to see if this was posted elsewhere online, and I couldn't find anything. So, if you know a little bit more about this, let me know. I'll definitely be sure to credit you correctly if this is an error. Anyway, over to the next creation, and this one is JetBug. This is made by Martin Trong. Nice to see some of the changes that have been made here, keeping it fresh, keeping it fun. Swapping out the jet boosters for wings, it's a nice touch, very bug-like of course. Although when I first saw these, I thought they were shields. So actually, hey, that's a cool idea. Wings that double as shields? Sweet. And what a nice idea to get those jet boosters and turn them into a face. The very edge of this piece does actually look like an unexpected face. Isn't that delightful? Now, sadly, of course, this piece does not exist in yellow. I wish it did. The closest color we have to this is probably gold. Although, that's got me thinking a gold version of JetBug would be sick. Maybe you could do that yourself. Another recolored part here are these knees. These use some of the visors that came on the different Brain Attack sets, like Furno. So if you wanted to make this yourself, you'd probably have to do it with some type of translucent element, which honestly still could look pretty good. These make for some pretty good knee pads. Now, it's always good to see love for JetBug. He's the best. Now, check out this Core Hunter revamp by Gavin Kolhoff. Big fan of the lighting effects on this. Putting lights in LEGO creations, it's getting more and more common these days, and it's good to see. However, you really just see it on system stuff. It's not every day that a Bionicle has lights in it. But how good does it look? How much scarier is this mask when there are lights behind it? How much cooler does the blaster look when it's got a little subtle red glow? And look at that little hint of light on the wings. Just a teeny tiny little dot. But that really brings this to life. Look, this is a great reminder that you gotta put some lights in your next Hero Factory or Bionicle creation, because it always improves your creations. The next one we have is made by Minty Science YouTube, and it's called Red Sentry version 2. My favorite touch here has to be the hero core. You know, it's not using your typical hero core piece. Instead, it's just using a CCBS shell in Translight Blue. But I think it still kind of conveys the same energy and idea of a typical hero core. It just doesn't have that standard like H in the center. So look, if you want a more subtle hero core on your stuff, this is a nice simple approach that you could easily do. Or heck, you know, even if you just simply don't own any hero cores, give this a go. Oh, and I love this scythe. It's using that stunning black and dark red marbled blade. A blade that originally appeared on the Vaki, but in this color, well, it did not come on a Bionicle. It came in an Exoforce set, the Thunder Fury. I would probably say this takes the cake as being the best Bionicle recolored piece. I mean, look at it. It looks like it's soaked in blood. It's awesome. And it looks pretty dope on this mock. Over to Cerebellord, this is by Oliver Nicholson. Oliver says that this was meant to be the manager of the Brain Slug Factory. You know, the one that we saw in some of the animated Hero Factory stuff for Brain Attack. In that it was just a sort of mysterious villain silhouette, we never actually found out who they were. So it's always great when people bring this character to life. And dude, this design is so clean. I love all of these Technic panels around the torso. The shaping here is top notch. And look at that. We got that same booster engine piece that we were talking about before on JetBug, but it's been very neatly tucked in, surrounded by all of that armor. It's so seamless. There's a nice mixture here of very clean and smooth textures, right next to very highly detailed mechanics. I love that contrast. And I love a good waist cape, and even some of these chains hanging off of his belt. These of course are some of the handcuff pieces that appeared on some of the breakout sets. And I mean, what a power move. This villain's saying, hey, he can't be chained. Because you know what, he's just gonna wear those handcuffs on his belt. He doesn't care. You can't capture this guy. Dude, this is awesome. And now let's finish off with Evo Wayward Hero by Santa Cruz Josh. There's a neat little story for this creation. It's said it on the email. Let me read it to you. It says the following. Sometime after the events of Invasion from Below, Evo stumbles upon an old prototype of Von Nebula's black hole staff, and he's accidentally warped through space and time into the world of Bionicle. Here, Evo learns the story of the Matoran universe, and he helps bring evildoers to justice as he searches for a way home back to his galaxy. Yeah, bringing the world of Bionicle and Hero Factory together, that was always a bit of a childhood dream for me. I mean, even just these photos here that showcase the character interacting with Bionicle characters. Delightful. Maybe this is your sign. Now's the time to write a Bionicle meets Hero Factory story. There's a very satisfying pop of purple on Evo's torso. Just one piece, just that little hand socket, but it's all it needs. This is a nice callback to Evo 2.0. The purple distribution on this guy was pretty similar. Only a little bit, but it looks so nice. And it's very nice to see this black tube piece being woven through that hand socket and flowing over into the back. Look at how it neatly wraps around that gear. Very satisfying, isn't it? And I think you can say the same for this very pronounced knee. Just using a bar piece to link another armor shell just a little bit over the top, it works. It works well. Oh, and good to see that printed armor shell on his arm. It's a perfect way to introduce a little bit more purple and a teeny bit more yellow. This creation is so clean and so crisp. Excellent work. And well done to everyone in this fan-submitted mocks episode. And hey, if you want to see your own stuff on the show, you can submit it to the email that's on your screen right now. If you want to copy and paste that, it's in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. 400 frickin' episodes? Dang!